Hello guys, Cartoon Retro Boy here, and welcome to another video. So, let's see, what can I talk about today? Well, I guess I'm gonna start off by talking about a SpongeBob special that you guys probably know about by now. So, let's talk about SpongeBob's Timeline Twist Up. Or should I say Timeline Twist Up, basically. I'm gonna call it like that from now on, because I feel like that's a better name than Patrick's Timeline Twist Up. Basically, or the timeline twist up. That could have been a better name, honestly, but whatever. I feel like this special has been a little bit divisive, honestly, according to the comment section. There are some people who like it, and there's some people who think it's a letdown or it's not really bad. I'm looking at you on SpongeBob because since you're a SpongeBob boomer, I'm well, it's actually a shout out to SpongeBob, that YouTuber that does SpongeBob reviews and is a SpongeBob boomer. Um, anyway, so yes, this special has been a bit of a divisive special. There's half of the community has been getting a lot of opinions on the special. There's people who think it's an amazing special, which that's true. There's been people who don't like this special, and then there's some people who think it's a letdown special that is supposed to be promoting the Patrick Star Show. Now, where do I stand in this opinion? I'm more honestly conflicted because I really do enjoy this episode, but I cannot I cannot hold back its problems. To be fair, but I want to be positive about this special because, since this is probably SpongeBob's best second TV movie of the whole entire show, yes, I think it's better than True for Square, Atlantis Squarepants, and Creepaway Camp. Which Creepaway Camp is not a bad special, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was a great special. But thankfully, SpongeBob's Timeline Twist Up is different. It actually feels like a SpongeBob special. And even though it's definitely not as good as Big Birthday Blowout, I still think it's a good special. Originally, it would have been a 9 out of 10 for me, but I think it's an 8 out of 10 because I do admit it has some problems. For example, well, I guess I'll get into that in the review. So, what's the plot? So, the plot is about Patrick's family basically using the time closet to rewrite SpongeBob's memories. Let me guess. So you're probably wondering that you probably guys think that this sounds like a pretty bad idea at first because who really watches the Patrick Star Show? Well, I actually do, to be fair. So if you guys are not big fans of Patrick Star Show, then that's on you because honestly, I really do like the Patrick Star Show since season 2, honestly. And the Patrick Star Show is not that bad, honestly. If you give it a chance and just don't be like one of those YouTubers who just watch one episode and then just describe what happened in that episode because honestly, I'm kind of tired of those type of things. Because really, I feel like watching one episode of one cartoon is a little bit hypocritical. And I understand it's not for everyone. Patrick Star Show is not for everyone, but at least give it a chance, please. Don't be like one of those YouTubers who only watch one episode and then just be too harsh about it. Because, like I said, I don't like that type of thing. I don't like that type of deal people do because it makes me feel upset because it just feels like you're not giving a show a chance because you thought it was horrible and you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. So hopefully this video is a reminder of don't give the Patrick Star Show a chance and don't rant on it like other YouTubers do. Because like I said, even though people don't like the Patrick Star Show, at least give it a chance, at least. Don't just watch one episode and that's it. At least watch a few episodes and don't complain. Because I'm tired. Because honestly, it's better than Camp Coral, at least. So don't even dare complain about it. Heck, have you seen Bubble Bass reviews? I bet you guys don't. I bet you guys never watched the Patrick Star Show to watch Bubble Bass reviews because it's actually the season finale of the season 1. And it's actually a good episode. Because I really like how it's critiquing the Patrick Star Show because it's kind of like you guys in the community of SpongeBob. Anyway, let me back on track. So what's the so when SpongeBob and Patrick goes down in river, classic them, and it's a ride in Glove World basically. Now this doesn't sound like a classic episode, right? Yeah, it doesn't. But it kind of reminds me a lot of Rock Bottom, where it actually reminds me a lot of Roller Cowards because it has like some similarities to that scene in the episode. But although this was one scene in the episode, anyway. Once back at at SpongeBob's Pineapple, they saw that Patrick's family has taken over SpongeBob's past. So they rush over to the house and they mess around for a little bit, to be fair, so it's not really much happening. But then Squidina appears and basically tells them that the other Star family has been trapped into the time closet and been transported to different memories of SpongeBob that he had, which is kind of scary if you think about it. And basically, it's up to SpongeBob and Patrick, and Squidina gets trapped too. And basically, when SpongeBob and Patrick fix the time closet, they must basically do is they must they must save the Star family from taking over SpongeBob's past. So the first memory is Rock Bottom, of course. One of my favorite. This is my favorite episode of season 1, personally. So them redoing Rock Bottom is actually a joy to me, honestly. It makes me jump for joy because I really love Rock Bottom a lot. It's actually one of my favorite pre-movie episodes. Anyway, so Squidina gets transported to Rock Bottom and basically takes SpongeBob's spot for missing the bus. And then these teenagers show up and basically does pranks on everyone in Rock Bottom, including Squidward, who's in Bikini Bottom at the Krusty Krab, who he was not even in the original episode, if you're wondering. That's kind of weird. Basically, Squidward gets eaten by a monster, and once the monster teenagers, like, prank on Squidina, Squidina gets fly up in the air with the balloon, and then basically what happens is that she gets yanked into the time closet back to the Patrick Star family home. Okay, so that's the first episode. The next episode is Rip Pants, where Cecil Star, Patrick's dad, basically gets transported to Rip Pants, and he interrupts SpongeBob trying to impress everyone with putting 2 marshmallows on a stick, basically, and try to lift it up. Cecil basically does it for him and rips his pants. Yep, he rips his pants. Once everyone laughs at Cecil, including SpongeBob actually too, and even the scooter guy even laughs too, which I think is kind of cool that Scooter's back. We haven't seen Scooter in the show too much, honestly, which is kind of sad. Honestly, I want to see Scooter more in the show, honestly, because I feel like as a background character, he hasn't appeared since season 3, personally, or at least appeared too much, honestly. Which I hope in the modern seasons they bring him back for a background character, because I feel like I miss him, honestly. I thought his last I think his last appearance in the show, personally, was season 3. So it's been 23 years since Party Pooper Pants, anyway. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So what happens next? So Cecil keeps ripping his pants and pants and pants and becomes a superstar. Once, a few months later, an angry crowd of people shows up at Cecil and was angry at him for making them rip their pants, and now they're so cold in the winter. So Cecil does the ultimate ripped, and basically and one of the crowd's people yells at him saying, "Get him!" And as soon as Cecil was about to get attacked by the angry crowd mob, he gets yanked into the time closet by his two sides and basically gets refixed with toilet paper. And then we got to the next memory, which is probably a strange choice, personally. I would have thought it would be Employee of the Month or something, because I feel like that would have been a better memory for SpongeBob's past, honestly. Oh well. Anyway, Neptune Spatula, which is okay. I think that episode is okay, personally. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned this. I thought Rip Hands was okay as well. It's not a great episode, but it's not something that I would say it's bad, honestly. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Um, back to what I was saying, basically. Um, I think the next memory, the next memory is Neptune Spatula. So Bunny Star, Patrick's mom, basically it's transported to Neptune Spatula and stops SpongeBob from pulling the spatula and pulls it herself by cleaning it. And then King Neptune appears, once King Neptune appears, he thinks SpongeBob is a weakling and basically denies him as he's the one who pulled the fry cook. But then Bunny SpongeBob says that it was not him, it was Bunny this time. Like I said, this is a redone version of Neptune's spatula, so it's not really canon. So Bunny becomes the fry cook, which she cooks terrible food for Neptune and gets him sick. So Neptune gets transported into bed, and basically what happens is that King Neptune tells her to be in the to take over his duties, and basically what happens is that Bunny saves the day by using her cleaning methods and parenting. Which honestly, you know what? I think the scene is personally good. Honestly, I really like seeing Bunny clean up the town or save the town in multiple funny ways. Honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of this episode personally, because I like seeing Bunny like save the town by using her cleaning, her other methods like her baby mothering methods. Like I think that's really cool. I think that's a really cool thing they done in this really cool thing that she done in this episode. Um let's see what else. I'm reviewing this in 12 minutes. That's very short. I know. This is a very long TV movie, so I'm not going to explain all of it honestly. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Um Granny Tentacles also gets zapped in, or should I say grabbed into the time closet as well a few minutes earlier, like at least around 8 minutes in the runtime of 44 minutes. Anyway, back to what I was saying. This special also does a lot of other things. Also, so yeah. So Bunny saves the whole town, and basically King Neptune keep on the news. King Neptune becomes jealous and that they're calling her Queen Bunny, which he gets offended. And basically what he does is that she transports her into a competition stadium, and basically what happens is that Bunny that they have to defeat a kraken, and basically what happens is that the kraken gets released, and basically Bunny gets transported into the time closet, gets snatched into the time closet, and basically um and basically and basically and basically and basically basically yeah, I'm trying to say it basically gets snatched into the time closet. Sorry if I'm saying it so much. And then King Neptune has to defeat the Kraken himself, which that's going to be hard to do because his first Triton was basically broken. It was not working. And then the other Triton, Bunny, decides to do is basically wash it and gives it a good scrubbing. And the Triton melts. And then the Kraken eats King Neptune and eats him another time. And he says it tastes like, and the Kraken says it tastes like chicken. The Kraken is also from Camp Coral anyway, so honestly, I'm not surprised, honestly. Anyway, so once Bunny was saved, we have one final member of the cast we need, the family that they need to rescue. and that was Grandpat, who was stuck in Help Wanted, the first episode. So this is also another part of one of my favorite parts of the episode is that they also try to do they animate Help Wanted so beautifully and so in digital ink animation. It looks so clean. It looks so good. It looks like something that you would see from a remake of the episode, honestly. Hopefully they do HD remakes of these episodes, honestly, because I would love to see like a HD remake version of the show. Maybe if Nickelodeon decides to remake the show with new writers and have the new writers work on like an HD remake of the show, that would be amazing, honestly. And doing a remake of the SpongeBob movie would also be really good. Though I guess I can't see that happening until the 30th anniversary. Maybe I can ask Nickelodeon if they are able to remake the show with the new writers and make it like be a kind of like a spin-off, but also kind of like a remake of the show. As I think a remake of the show, would HD remake of the show would be amazing, because imagine seeing all the the writers remake a lot of old episodes with the new voices, the good writing, and stuff like that. Even though I know that would also be impossible, to be fair. Anyway, so as SpongeBob was getting ready for going to Krusty Krab, um, Grandpats takes his job, and basically what happens is that once the anchovies show up, the anchovies takes over the Krusty Krab for a little bit, and Grandpats cooks a Krabby Patty already and was about to eat it, but then Grandpa quits. And what happens is that Grandpat saw Plankton, and Plankton takes the Krabby Patty and saw that he would put. And basically, Grandpat becomes the villain of this episode, at least the main villain of this episode, instead of Plankton, actually. Anyway, so what happens is that that Grandpat basically does is that he puts the Krabby Patty into that little thing that in the Plankton episode, like in the Plankton original episode, and he creates like grand patties. Grand patties would have been. He also takes over the world basically, and makes a whole empire of it, which is actually very shocking. Honestly, this doesn't feel like something from SpongeBob. This feels like something from a video game. Honestly, like a SpongeBob movie. This feels like something that they would have done in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Honestly. And you know what? This scene reminds me a lot of the scene where Plankton takes over Bikini Bottom and basically, like, in like has his own apocalyptic, uh, apocalyptic town. Basically, it reminds me a lot of the first movie where they have Plankton take over the town and basically have them, you know, and sells Krabby Patties as well. Like that's just comedy gold, honestly. That they reference the first movie, honestly. Though this is not a reference to the first movie, I think it's still kind of close to a reference. Though, if they wanted to reference the first movie, they could have done it in this scene where they could have had the townspeople have like helmets and basically kind of call them they could have been called Grand Patty helmets, and basically they could have been saying all hail grandpa, all hail grandpa Pat, all hail grandpat. That would have been a really cool reference, honestly. Though I know that no, that would be kind of weird though if they would reference the first movie though. So once when Patrick tries to grab Grandpa into the time machine, they get thrown in jail, into prison basically. And the next time, then the second time so what Dina decides to do is rewind the time closet, and once the classic SpongeBob was walking home from the bargain mark, or should I say past the bargain mark, modern SpongeBob decides to grab the spatula, the hybrid distractor spatula, I don't know what it's called, and grabs it into the time closet and then pays for it as well. As classic SpongeBob was planning to go back into the go oh like was sad and was walking into his house, modern SpongeBob stops him and gives him the spatula from the first episode, the hydrodramatic spatula, and basically tells him to get into the Krusty Krab and fly into it and save the day. And then Classic SpongeBob says, "Who are you, beautiful stranger? You look kind of familiar." And SpongeBob says he's just a simple sponge with a job, and Classic SpongeBob has a job too now. And basically tells him that he's ready, and basically then the Classic SpongeBob decides to do is basically um, he flies into the Krusty Krab. He flies into the Krusty Krab, and Grandpatch gets snatched into the time closet now. And then SpongeBob and Patrick watches Classic SpongeBob cook Krabby Patties for the anchovies, and Squidina grabs SpongeBob and Patrick back into the time closet. Plankton comes out of nowhere and basically tries to get the Krabby Patty. The time closet smashes on him, and basically Patrick takes the Krabby Patty away from Plankton. And then finally, basically they're back at the Patrick Star house, and what basically happens is that they 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 so basically it seems like everything's back to normal until they sell Grannyville, which Granny Tentacles, I think my prediction that she got transported into Rule of Dumb, personally, Rule of Dumb or Plankton's army. It could have been a mix of Plankton's army and Rule of Dumb, personally, and Copy Dog Diddle Pants. So yeah, basically all three episodes combined. It could have been Rule of Dumb mixed with Copy Bob Diddle Pants and Plankton's army. So yeah, or it could have been Rule of Dumb and Copy Bob Diddle Pants together, basically mashed together. And basically what happens is that seems like Granny has taken over the ukulele bottom, and that ends the special. Wow, I reviewed this in 22 minutes long. So that ends off this special, and that's basically the 44-minute special in a nutshell. And yeah, I thought this was a really great episode, honestly. It was a good 8 out of 10. I do like this season premiere, honestly. This was a pretty good premiere to start off season 16. And honestly, sure, there were some people that do not like how this is how Patrick Star Show family was in this special, but honestly, I don't mind it because it as long as it means like more content, a crossover, then that means honestly anything to me, honestly. This should have been what the title zone would have been like, because honestly, this should have been like what the title zone would have been like, but of course, the title zone was different, but this feels like a better version of that episode, honestly, that special. And both of them are 44-minute episodes, specials. Though that one is also just a combination of episodes, five episodes. Anyway, I think that ends off the special. I do enjoy it. I do think it's a pretty good episode. Not amazing. I just think it's a pretty good premiere. Hopefully, I heard season 16 has been leaked online. So I watched all the leaked episodes, and I thought season 16 so far has been honestly like season 9 for me. So honestly, hopefully the rest of the season will be good. What I just ripped off. Oh, shoot. I gotta really be careful with that. Anyway, I think that ends off this video, actually. So, really, I really liked this episode. I thought it was a pretty good special, and I thought it's not as good as Big Birthday Blowout, but I still think it's a great special. Overall, I enjoyed the special, 8 out of 10. I do like this episode, and overall, I've been enjoying this. I've been enjoying season 16 so far. Most of them were pretty good. except for a few. Some of them were kind of okay, but honestly, you know what? The special has been pretty. This season has been pretty good, even despite the leaks. You know. Oh well. It's been a good thing, and I'll see you guys next time. Cartoon Retro Boys out.